Hello vinyl freaks, it's the Danish record hunter here, and in this video I will continue talking about sensory system. In my last video I was showing you the first two singles by sensory system, which is like from 1973, 1974, and it's a Danish heavy rock of top class heavy rock from the 70s. And they also released a full-length album, and in this video I will be talking about that. So here it is, Sensory!
Down by the rubber bed, where the hell does lie, there I go myself, you know, just to fantasize my love, and I go wandering.
Here it is, what I consider the best heavy rock album from Denmark in the 70s. Man, what a masterpiece. And you know, it's very hard for me to say that because behind me I chose to showcase the first album by Culpeper's Orchard, and that one it's a masterpiece as well. It's that you could call it a heavy rock, a progressive rock, folk rock. It has all the styles in here. I will be talking about this band in a later video. What is interesting about the album when they released it was in Denmark they had signed with a label that was called Hørkiks. It was like an underground label. And Hørkiks, they actually issued their second single in 1974, which was released I think a month or something before the album. The band also signed with the German label that was called Nova, and I don't know if it was because of legal matters that they had to issue the albums by with a different name in Germany. So in Germany they were called System, and actually this was put out on Nova with a different cover. It looks like this. You should see Brian Burr Phillip, performing on stage. I think that's what is shown on this cover. It's cool too. I don't have that one in my collection, but people have often confused Sensory System for being a German band because of all this, with a different name, and they're on Nova. And also this album was recorded partly in Denmark but also in Hamburg. So actually a funny thing is that the guy who mixed this album, it's a guy that's called Achim Reichel, I think his name is pronounced. And the thing was with this guy, this is a shout out to one of my friends. His name is Jens, and his new favorite krautrock album is actually by Achim Reichel, and it's called Die Grüne Reise. So he made this album in the 70s, and also he mixed Sensory System. How cool is that? When the album was put out, the second guitarist in the band, who is called Krishna Yarbrough, he had left Sensory System, but this album, as I mentioned in my earlier video, was recorded way back in 1972. So he appears on the record, of course. He's actually credited as a guest guitarist, but he's pretty much there, as because it's a band with two guitarists. So there's those double dual leads, or what you would say. So it's all there. But Krishna, I think he chose to leave the band himself. I don't think they kicked him out because such a talented guitarist. I could not imagine what was going on. I think he just wanted to go in a completely different direction. And I think he just wanted to go into more soul and funky stuff. So he actually, with his brother who's called Kim Yarbrough. They formed a band that was called Street People. They put out a single, and this is like funky R&B music. And also they put out another 7-inch, I think in 1980. It was called, as released as by the Yarbroughs. And later on, Krishna Yarbrough, he has actually settled down in Argentina. And he goes under the name Krishna Black Eagle. And he actually has released a couple albums in Argentina, and he, created a kind of a career for himself there. So he's doing pretty well, of what I understand. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get to the album by Sensory System, put out in 1974. So this is like very, very good heavy rock. And if you like Led Zeppelin, if you like Mountain, Humble Pie, James Gang, those groups, then this will definitely, fit your taste. This is just a masterpiece, I think. And it's not even because I'm Danish and this is like a Danish record. No, I really think that some of the absolute best heavy rock that I've heard is on this record. You already heard like 2 of the tracks, which is featured here on the 73 single, like Red Man and Winter's Over Now, which is called Winter's Over on this album. And on here they're a little bit longer. Here they kind of shorten down the tracks to fit on the single. So I will not really get into those tracks because I already talked about them, but I will talk about the highlights of the album, and those 2, they're pretty good, especially Winter's Over for me is like, that one is like a big highlight for me. But I will talk about 2 songs on this album that is really, really, up there for me. So let's start out with while Nixon plays the piano.
I'm sitting in my chair, stroking my hair, smoking a pipe without a stop. It's been 3 days since I've slept. I think I'm going to drop. The balls are dropping, my wife is shopping, my children asking me, does progress move this way? Daddy, progress move this way. Yeah.
What a hilarious title, right? And also this is like top class heavy rock, the dual lead guitars by both Jørgen Werner and Krishna Yarbrough. It's just top class, it's phenomenal. I really, really like it. This track is just like a monster of Danish heavy rock. And you could call it Danish American, because the vocalist Brian Burr Phillip, he was of course a real Yankee vocalist. He was born and raised in New York and went and studied in Denmark, and he became the singer of the band. So there's no like Denglish vocals here. This is like the real deal. In this track there is like a solo section, very like upbeat and aggressive solo section with some fiery guitar work, and I will show you that when you're over. Ooh, what a heavy rocker, and that one is just kick-ass all the way through. I consider it the heaviest track of the album. Probably there's also Winter's Over, but that one is just like, wow, it's like a kick in the face. But there's another track which I consider like a favorite of mine, and maybe I like it just as much as while Nixon plays the piano. And that track, it's called Experience, My Teacher. That track I consider the best song that Led Zeppelin never wrote themselves. And there's a lot of those, but this one, it could have been by Led Zeppelin and when I listen to it. But now you listen to it. We'll listen to the first part, okay? And then you can decide for yourself.
Experience, my teacher, won't you tell me what to say? Help me keep my friends from throwing their ears away. Oh, but the only words I know, the only ones that seem to stay on. No, 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 it doesn't have to be that way.
So this track may be my favorite of the album. It's not like a kick-ass heavy rock all the way through, like while Nixon plays the piano, or Winter's Over, or Red Man, or something like that. But this is more like a more eclectic composition that goes in several directions. Just a couple changes here and there, but it reminds me of Led Zeppelin. Like the first 4 Led Zeppelin albums, there's elements from those 4 albums that I can hear here. You know, it's like really a blend of those albums. I really like this track. It's clever. Some very good arrangement. Some really surprising changes throughout. Just the musicianship of the band. And also, I think Brian Burr-Phillips, this may be his best vocal performance that I've heard. This track is just brilliant. It's just a wow kind of track. So let me just show you a little bit more of it, of the jamming of the band and just the musicianship. This is just kick-ass. 50 days or 15 nights now, I've been trying to get in touch with you. For 15 days or 15 years, I found I don't know what to do. Can you help me make a man understand what he is? Come walk with me outside in the fresh. Come walk with me outside, we need a rest. But it said your liver's dead. Well, no one knows. No. So if you like my video and if you like what you heard, please hurry up and go to Discogs and buy this album, because it's quite cheap actually. It's not very expensive. It's a very good price for such a good album. So really, hurry up, because this album hasn't gotten the attention that it deserves. It has never been officially reissued. So you can buy a couple CD bootlegs online, but I have not bought them myself. I'm hoping that someday, like Cherry Red Records or something like that, they will release this along with the singles and the second album as a kind of a box. That's a dream for me. I'm not really collecting lots of CDs anymore, but if Cherry Red Records or any other label wants to put out the stuff by Sensory System, I will buy it. They just deserve the attention, because this is just as good as any other heavy rock bands from overseas. So please If you like my video, you know, subscribe and check out all the other stuff that I have on the way for you. And please, peace out and see ya next time.